10. Pine Creek Cemetery. The Pine Creek Cemetery is a poignant and peaceful final resting place for the gold rush pioneers who shaped this rugged region. Established in the late 1800s, it holds the stories of miners, railway workers, and families who braved the harsh Australian outback in search of fortune and a new life. But life in these early days was often brutal, and the cemetery reflects the hardships faced by the early inhabitants of Pine Creek. Many believe that the spirits of these early pioneers still roam the cemetery, unable to find peace. Visitors have reported a number of unsettling encounters. The sound of phantom footsteps and disembodied whispers are frequently heard among the weathered headstones. Some have claimed to have seen the fleeting apparitions of miners in their old clothes, still searching for the gold they never found in life. The most common story is of a ghostly figure of a woman in a long dress, believed to be a young mother who died tragically in childbirth. The Pine Creek Cemetery is a place of profound stillness and history, where the stories of the past are whispered on the wind. 9. Old Tennant Creek Telegraph Station. Further north, the Old Tennant Creek Telegraph Station stands as another ghostly testament to the Overland Telegraph Line. Established in 1872, it was a remote outpost that connected pioneers, miners, and explorers to civilization. This was a place of solitude and silence, where the vast desert landscape held both beauty and danger. The isolation and hardship of life here left a deep imprint, a sorrowful energy that still permeates the station. The station is widely regarded as one of the most haunted places in the Northern Territory. The main building is said to be inhabited by the restless spirit of a man who tragically passed away there. Visitors have reported a profound sense of sadness and despair upon entering the building. Cold spots, the feeling of being watched, and the disembodied sound of shuffling feet and doors closing on their own are common occurrences. At night, the spectral figure of a man has been seen walking the grounds, still on duty. The Old Tennant Creek Telegraph Station is a place where the history is not just read in plaques, but is felt in the very air, a haunting echo of a lonely and difficult past. 8. Telegraph Station, Alice Springs. The Alice Springs Telegraph Station, founded in 1872, was a vital link in the Overland Telegraph Line, connecting the north of Australia to the rest of the world. It was a bustling hub of communication and community, but its isolated location also made it a place of deep loneliness and hardship. The station was a place of triumph and tragedy, a crucible of history where dreams were made and broken. The station is a hotspot for paranormal activity, with many people believing the spirits of its past inhabitants still linger. The most famous ghost is that of a young girl named Alice, who tragically drowned in the nearby waterhole in the late 19th century. Visitors have reported hearing the phantom sounds of a child's laughter and the feeling of a cold hand grabbing theirs. The spirit of a former station master is also said to roam the grounds, still making his rounds and checking on the wires. In the old kitchen area, the distinct smell of phantom cooking is often reported, a ghostly reminder of the station's living past. The Alice Springs Telegraph Station is not just a museum, it is a place where history is alive, and the past is always just a whisper away. 7. Ross River Homestead, near Alice Springs. Nestled in the breathtaking landscape near Alice Springs, Ross River Homestead began its life in 1898 as a cattle station. For decades, it was a remote and rugged outpost, a place of immense beauty and isolation. The homestead witnessed the hardships of frontier life, from dust storms to droughts, and the resilience of the people who called it home. But a tragic history of sorrow and loss is also woven into its very foundation, a history that continues to echo through its halls. The homestead is said to be haunted by the ghost of a young woman named Sarah, who died tragically on the property in the early 20th century. Visitors and staff have reported numerous encounters with her mournful spirit. She is often seen as a misty apparition, walking the grounds with her head down, a figure of profound sadness. Guests staying in the homestead's cabins have reported hearing disembodied crying and the feeling of being watched. One of the most famous incidents involves a chilling photograph taken by a tourist, which appears to show the ghostly figure of a woman staring out from a window in one of the old homestead buildings, a spectral resident still bound to the beautiful, yet tragic, landscape she once called home. 6. Old Gan Railway Tunnels, Alice Springs Region. Deep in the red heart of Australia, near Alice Springs, lie the silent relics of a bygone era, the old Gan Railway Tunnels. For nearly a century, the legendary Gan train snaked its way through the outback, a lifeline connecting the north and south. These tunnels, hand-dug, and steeped in the toil of the early 20th century, were a testament to human endurance and grit. But they are also said to be a final resting place for those who toiled and perished in the harsh conditions, their spirits forever trapped in the dark and dust. Today, the tunnels are a chilling reminder of the past. Visitors speak of a profound sense of claustrophobia and dread that hangs in the air. The sounds of phantom steam engines and disembodied whispers are often reported, as if the ghosts of the workers are still toiling away. Some have even reported seeing the fleeting apparition of a man in old-fashioned work clothes, a lonely spirit still inspecting the tracks he built so long ago. The tunnels are not just an engineering marvel, they are a ghostly corridor where the past refuses to stay buried. 5. Brown's Mart Theatre, Darwin. Brown's Mart Theatre is one of Darwin's most beloved heritage buildings, originally constructed in 1885 as a meeting place and store. It later served as a mining exchange before becoming the vibrant theater it is today. The building has seen a century of history, joy, and tragedy, and many believe the spirits of its past still watch over its performances. The most famous spectral resident is Jock, believed to be the spirit of a prospector who died a lonely and tragic death within the building's walls. Staff and actors have long grown accustomed to Jock's presence, reporting a distinct feeling of being watched from the wings. Strange noises from the stage, disembodied footsteps, and the inexplicable movement of props are common occurrences. Some actors have even reported feeling a cold hand on their shoulder before going on stage, a ghostly last-minute pep talk from a past resident who still loves a good show. The theater is a living piece of history, where the past and present mingle in the spotlight. 4. Burnett House, Darwin. Built in 1938, Burnett House is a beautiful example of tropical architecture, once home to the chief administrator of the Northern Territory, Sir Charles Burnett. The house was a hub of social gatherings and political intrigue, a witness to the vibrant life and devastating events that shaped Darwin. It survived the bombing of Darwin in 1942 and Cyclone Tracy in 1974, but some say it also holds a few secrets in its stately walls. The stories of hauntings here are said to be linked to a former servant of the house. People have reported experiencing the unsettling presence of a woman, often appearing as a fleeting shadow in the hallways or a reflection in a window. Doors have been known to open and close on their own, and lights flicker without reason. A persistent, and rather playful, poltergeist-like activity is often attributed to a young boy's spirit. Visitors have reported hearing the sounds of a child's laughter and feeling a gentle tug on their clothes, as if the house's past inhabitants are still playing out their lives within its historic walls. 3. Adelaide River War Cemetery. Adelaide River War Cemetery stands as a solemn tribute to the heroes of World War II who lost their lives defending the Northern Territory. Over 600 soldiers, both Australian and Allied forces, are buried here, their final journey marked by rows of pristine white headstones. The cemetery is a place of profound respect and sorrow, but some believe it is also a place where the spirits of these brave soldiers refuse to rest. The haunting tales here are not of malevolence, but of deep sadness and longing. Visitors have reported seeing the faint, transparent figures of soldiers in their uniforms, walking among the graves as if on eternal patrol. The distinct sound of marching feet and disembodied voices giving orders have been heard, echoing in the quiet air. Many believe these soldiers are still defending their final post, their spirits forever bound to the land they fought and died for, a poignant and powerful reminder of the sacrifices made. 2. Fannie Bay Gaol, Darwin. In 1883, the infamous Fannie Bay Gaol was built to hold the territory's most notorious criminals. For nearly a century, its cold, stone walls witnessed countless stories of suffering, desperation, and violence. It was a place where justice was served with a heavy hand, and a grim history unfolded within its confines, including 2 hangings in 1952. The pain and despair soaked into the very fabric of this place, creating an emotional echo that still resonates today. Visitors and staff alike have reported chilling paranormal activity. The air often turns cold without reason, and the heavy feeling of being watched is a constant companion. The most frequent encounters are in the gallows area, where some claim to have seen the apparitions of the 2 men who were hanged there, still lingering in their final moments. In the solitary confinement cells, people have reported hearing disembodied whispers and the unsettling sound of rattling chains. Some have even felt an unseen force pushing them, a spectral reminder of the prisoners who still can't escape their past. 1. Old Palmerston Cemetery, Darwin. Step back in time to the heart of Darwin, where the whispering winds carry the stories of a forgotten city at the old Palmerston Cemetery. Established in 1884, this was once the final resting place for the pioneers who braved the harsh conditions of the Northern Territory. But nature and time were not kind. In 1942, the bombs of World War II's Japanese air raids reduced this sacred ground to rubble. Headstones were shattered, and graves were disturbed, leaving the dead with no peace in the afterlife. Today, visitors report an unsettling stillness that hangs in the air, a silence broken only by the feeling of being watched. One of the most common encounters is with a shadowy figure of a woman in white, believed to be a nurse from the era, still tending to the forgotten souls. Some have heard phantom whispers, disembodied cries, and the distinct sound of shuffling feet, as if the restless spirits of those buried there are still trying to find their way home amidst the broken stones.